I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it all the way real 100. I am scared to death of death, but at the same time, I gotta stay faithful to my God, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because Jesus Christ, what is going on with my people, yo? What's going on with my people, my melanin people? Because at the same time, we already know, we talk about how crazy white people can be and stuff, but like this is this news is just different. And it happens so often, more often than we really realize. I mean, I always say all the time, Google can be your friend, but sometimes Google can really give you trauma and put you in a dark place because you can't even it's almost like you gotta walk on eggshells at all times. Like, don't even go outside. It's not safe nowhere. What's up, blessed ones? You are now blaring the podcast. Brought to you by AB1 Studios. Thank you for your time. Listening. You wanna know something else, blessed ones? Imagine being out with your kids somewhere and, you're getting something to eat and someone may bump you or you bump them. You say, excuse me, don't say excuse me. Either way, imagine just being out somewhere with your children or your friends or whoever, expecting to come back home, but you don't. Like, I heard this news about a young man, college player for Alabama, him and another gentleman, they're charged for the murder of a young lady, 23-year-old Jamia Harris, I believe. And this player, Darius Miles, I believe he was, trying to holler at her. But, apparently she has a man or whatnot. Maybe he didn't know, but the point is, like, it's even kind of crazy to even report and say it. It's just because we didn't heard so many crazy stories already in this world, in this lifetime, I'm sure. I mean, I heard more outrageous stories, more silly stories as far as like how people get killed and why people get killed. But it's like, women can't even reject you anymore without fearing for their life. And I mean, I understand being in the social, and the crazy thing is, this is a new time. This is the social media era. This is the internet. If you're still, because again, there are some people who are socially awkward because of social media. But think about it this way. You a basketball player, you might feel like, hey, you got some type of clout or whatnot because you play ball. And if you're at a university, of course, you got to be pretty good, right? You could be NBA potential. And you might see a beautiful young lady and you try to talk to her and then she rejects. But that's the thing, like, you can't, like, we have to do better because the way that, like, when I heard about this story, I'm just like, man, dang, yo, like, it's that bad out here. It's that, like, people are that wild. And mind you, like, this young man, these young men, because I don't know too much about the Michael Davis gentleman as far as, like, whether he played or not, but just from the story that I'm getting, it's like, these guys are from Washington, D.C. That's like another home to me. I know the mentality there, but it's still like, you play for college. Now, don't kill me for this. I don't know if Alabama State is an HBCU school or not, but either way, I know it is a well-known college, and there's clearly, there's something going on there. Like, there's already been reports on it already. This happened last week. It's now, like a week later, 7 days later or whatever from the incident, but it just breaks my heart because I wanna come up here and talk to you all about rejection because I had my fair share of rejection, especially when it comes to women. Right? I've been rejected. I've been rejected on social media in the DMs. I've been rejected on the phone or someone who I might have been interested in and thought it could have been more than platonic. I've been rejected to my face when I was a youngin'. But even so, it's like, hey, of course it's going to hurt because you put yourself out there. But that is no excuse for you to take someone's life. It's not even no excuse for you to disrespect someone. Because here's the thing. Whether she has a man or not, and like this goes for women too, but no matter whether you're in a relationship or not, you gotta understand that people have the right to say no. And it's a hard pill for me to swallow sometimes because, again, I get and my feelings sometimes are like, okay, like I think like, hey, why not? Like, I think I'm a, good looking guy. I have my head on straight. Maybe not where I want to be financially. Maybe not all the way elevated to who I'm meant to be all the way. But at the same time, like I just got to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because this lady now. Life is gone, have children, and now they have to grow up without their mother. You hear stories like this about men getting killed and dying from the streets and different things, but the fact that your life is now over, your life changed because you decided to be an idiot because this person passed. Maybe an opportunity or whatever to whatever was going on in your mind. I hate domestic violence. I hate abuse. I hate when I hear stories about women losing their lives over something so nuts like this. It makes me crazy when I hear about men being abusive to their women or abusive to women, whether they're drunk, whether they get in an argument. It's just crazy to me. And sometimes I can feel for the men who might have a lot going for themselves and then they still get turned down. I mean, I feel like we all deserve some happiness, deserve some pain, but it's okay that if this person is not for you, it's okay if you find someone attractive and you might show interest in them and you like them, but they don't feel the same way. It is okay for them to feel that way. Unfortunately, like I said, it's one of those hard truths where we have to look and say, okay, if you don't like me, then you're not for me. You got to go where you're appreciated, not tolerated. You have to just keep it moving. And for you to be a student athlete and a college student athlete at that, like it's over. Like, and then I don't know what type of penalty, what type of justice is going to be served, but it's just, all I know is we lost another queen. We lost someone else. We lost another black person, and we lost another mother to something stupid. So my prayers goes out to the family. Because I can tell you multiple times that I been brokenhearted and been rejected, and it never even crossed my mind to hurt this person, and I never even thought about it. The worst I ever felt when a woman rejected me is that, man, maybe I'm not as good as I thought. I had a little self-doubt in myself. And I'll even say this. I know hurt people, but I also know what goes around comes around. And I also know that sometimes you gotta watch how you get people, because that's how they're gonna get you. Because again, I say this all the time. I've been in serious relationships. I've been in life-changing relationships. But the same thing is, I'm hurt. And just hold on one second, because because here's the thing, like when when I'm interested in someone, I let them know. And I fall short of, my, past, is sometimes I'll talk to women and sometimes put myself out there. And I'm gonna tell you, I'll be shy. I'm shy sometimes. I don't always like put myself out there, because I know that the rejection, it could be sometimes hard to get over, because then everything else that you say might be viewed as you're trying to get with them. Like, I'm not an awkward person, but I respect anyone who feels like, hey, okay, this ain't gonna work, or this is wrong, as far as a relationship. I'm not one of those awkward people, like, where, like, okay, if somebody try to talk to me and I don't feel the same way, hey, we can still be friends, we can still be cool, I can still talk to you, but not everybody feels the same way. Not everybody. Some people might just say, okay, well, you like me like that, I don't like you like that, I don't know if I can talk to you anymore, because everything else is going to seem like you're trying to talk to me still. Maybe experience, like, again, experience can, do that. But, like, I'm just saying, for me, like, I've been down that road where I've been rejected by amazing women, beautiful women, great women, still beautiful and great women. There's still people who I've been into and who I try to, at least take out. I'm in communication with some. I'm not in communication with some. But it's like you can't do anything. It's like, man, you shoot somebody like imagine like just shoot somebody's gonna really take your life because you stepped on their shoes. And just like I talked about before with the whole incident with the gentleman who held the door and he didn't say thank you, and it's just wild. Like you gotta like it's almost like you can't go anywhere, and we can't sit here and always blame the white man for everything. It's bad enough that we still deal with racism and prejudices and all these different injustices, but when you got to be careful with even rejecting someone, because now it just makes me think as far as like, what is this gonna leave men now or women? Like how should we approach things? Because here's my question to you listening. Do you prefer for someone to talk to you in person and ask you out in person or online? Because I didn't heard people say that online is a lot of times it's easier, because think about it, like I didn't seen men, and I've actually have confronted some about it, like just grabbing women by the arm and say, "Hey, come, let me talk to you." And it's like, "Hey, you can't do that." That's kind of aggressive. Like I understand some women like that, but sometimes like you don't know this person. You don't like me. To me, I'm careful with who I approach and who I come at, because it's like you don't know if this person got 10 kids. You don't know if this person is in a relationship. You don't know if this person is gay. You don't know if they you don't know their situation. So it's still like you have to be mindful is that before you decide to try to spit game at somebody, me personally, I prefer having a friendship or having some type of rapport first. I don't just randomly, come at, random women out of the blue. Like if I see you and I think that you are attractive, there might be a type of conversation, but I don't necessarily have no reason to, approach women like that. Like I work in retail, and a lot of fine women come into my store all the time. I mean, I am who I am. I mean, my customer service is my personality, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you gotta still kind of read the room. Sometimes I think we gotta do a little bit better on whether someone is interested in us or not, especially if we're gonna be approaching them in person. But this is just kind of wild, man. But it's a it's creepy. It's dangerous. There's a lot of things that I think about, man. Like, I have a son, and there's also young girls that I help raise and who I'm part of their lives as well. And it's like we have to do better. Like we have to do better as a community in general, because there's no reason why this young lady who was I want to say she was visit. I don't know. I don't know if her boyfriend was playing the game, but the thing is, apparently she had a boyfriend. But there's no reason why this young lady had to lose her life because she just wasn't into someone. Life goes on. People are going to do what they do, but at the same time, it's like it makes you wonder sometimes. Like, dang, you can't even. Like, dang, it's like, is my life worth it? Like, is like, do I have to now? This is probably how most women, especially young women who are impressionable, they look and say like, man, they probably get now. They might feel like it's a pressure now. It's a pressure for them to, you know, reject men now, and that's wrong. I wish I was able to get a female co-host today. Maybe I'll double back on it again another time. But all in all, I just feel like today's men, and I know some people, a lot of times people want to take accountability for everybody else saying, okay, we gotta do better with these. Yeah, I'm responsible for my son. I gotta show him, hey, like, look, I gotta raise him right on how he needs to treat himself, how he needs to treat other people, and how he needs to treat women. But that's why I always encourage him and always discipline him and tell him and show him like how he should treat his mother, how he should treat his sisters, how he should treat his grandmothers and all the other women that he is in contact with right now because he's only 6. But like just like how my dad raised me, I'm not gonna sit here and project every single thing onto him. But the one thing that I'm real big on is respect, 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 respect. You gotta respect the elders. You gotta respect your parents. You gotta do that, and that's kind of how you will take things and be able to move in life. But that's just me. So I mean, like, hey, you apply for a job, they don't hire you. What are you gonna do? You gonna shoot up the place? So now your life is over with because you decided to take a life because you didn't have enough pride and your ego was so much more valuable than your future and your present. You now just made a permanent decision because, like I say, whether this man does life or gets 10, whatever, how many years, that there's still a family who's going to be without. That's why we have to be mindful on the decision that we make. I don't care how good you think you are or how attractive another person is. I don't care how you feel emotionally about it, about a situation. You gotta let that your better spirit, that better energy, then take over you. You gotta make better decisions. So for anybody listening who's going through certain things, like who likes somebody and is pursuing somebody, just remember this: it is fine and it's okay. You got to keep it moving because I'm in that borderline. I grew up in the '90s, and then and look, I'm still growing as a man. Okay, I'm still learning certain things about women, about myself, about parenting. People would sit here and think that you have all the answers when you don't. But one thing's for certain, and one thing, like, maybe this has to be another lesson that people have to understand and know. But never is it okay to sit there and get aggressive towards someone because they do not like you. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's all. Because I'll tell you this one time, right? This is my homie, but again, there's been times where, I had said, hey, how do you feel? Like, what do you think? Like, can we get together, link up, do something? The crazy thing is, I've been put in the friend zone. It was one of those things where it was like I didn't even really think of it as that at the time, because there's been a few women who gave me that little lame excuse saying, like, we just friends, or it's like, hey, nah, but any woman would be happy to have you. I've been given that. I've been given that before. I mean, but it is what it is. It's like, hey, that hurts a little bit right here in my heart, but it's like, it's never did I sit here and ever think about disrespecting it, because, like I said, again, there's a reason you tried to pursue someone that you was interested in, whether you was attracted to them, whether you was feeling their vibe or not, and then they didn't feel the same way. But that's not going to make me change, how I feel. It will just allow me to then move elsewhere. Just like, okay, that's fine, that's cool, because here's the thing. You always got to look at that as a door being opened. Now you don't have to, now the elephant in the room is now gone. Because, again, there's a lot of men like me who tries to, be patient and kind of feel the vibe out, but then there's men who just go straight in, who's a straight shooter. They just see a girl they might think is fine, and then they just go ahead and smack at her. But to me, I never feel like, hey, that's something that you can do. That's just a different type of mentality to me. And like I said, I'm not no guru or nothing, but I think I'm a good, communicator when I need to be. But again, that's just me talking about myself. And then there's like another time, it's like I was in someone DMs and, we were just chatting it up and, talked about how, hey, maybe one day we can, get something to eat, get lunch or whatever. And this is just really me just being me, just really trying to, initiate a more convenient interaction. But, turn me down, shut me down. Cool. You still cool. We still rock, we still ride. No problem. Because one thing's for sure is, if you're attractive to me, if I like you in a way of romance, I'll probably shoot my shot once. But sometimes those shots are missed. I'm not going to sit here and be a beggar and be like, oh, please come back. I mean, hey, you want to double back? Come back next year. Maybe you have to elevate. Maybe sometimes you got to get up, because from the time that the era that I come from, it's like, hey, we do things. A lot of men, we have things because of women. Some people want to, fake the funk and act like that they're not trying to impress the women. But a lot of, like, the era we come, look, a lot of rappers start rapping because they wanted to get girls. A lot of ball players, they try to, hoop up and impress us, get their skills on, to get girls. And, it's like, because we're the ones, like I said before, we have to do the work. I mean, hey, that's part of life. It's not always fair, but that's part of life. You know, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. Not necessarily saying he has to go out here and go hunting or chasing, but it's like one who finds a wife finds a good thing. You know, this man, Mister Davis. I mean, don't even, I forgot his name already. But you know, hey, he didn't. He felt like, hey, I want to go ahead and poke my chest out. Oh, you don't want me? You don't deserve to live. Nah, you don't want to do that. But all I'm gonna just say is just, you know, y'all gotta stay safe out here. You know, you gotta keep a positive mindset. You gotta continue to prosper in life and be productive, no matter what the circumstances are. You can't hate on anybody because you have the same 24 hours. You can't blame anybody because you are still capable. You know, so I always want to encourage, especially the younger generation, that take time, make time. Time is of the essence, time is precious, but you have time to get yourself right. I didn't think, I'm not, again, I'm not in the streets. I was never a street cat. I was out here in the hood, but I was never out here banging, slanging, doing none of that. But I didn't feel like I was going to make it. There was other times, other issues on why, but I'm still here at 35, 2023. You know, I didn't always live in the best neighborhoods despite, you know, my advantages that I had, you know, growing up. But I wasn't always in the greatest neighborhoods, you know, in the greatest crowds. But I've just been blessed that I always had a support system. I managed to have a lot of great people in my life. So, you know, that there was a poor call, and like I said, somebody's life is now gone, and in another life it now changed forever. So I do send my prayers and condolences out to the family of Miss Harris, and you know, I do hope that these young men who made a terrible decision, you know, get get the help that they need, and also get the time that they deserve. Because now that rejection turned into a trap where you can never take back. So now you're gonna be in four walls in a cell to really somewhere you probably never thought you would be. Because like I said, you're in your early 20s, but you know, who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what the case is gonna go? But again, I never sit here and never approve, never support, you know, death penalty. But hopefully, like I said, justice is served. Or just think about what can be avoided, you know, because it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that, you know, you can't even, you know, man, you can't even. You gotta be, you can't even say any, like, I'm just lost sometimes. Like, I don't, what can you do out here without worrying about somebody trying to kill you? You know, we can't live in fear, but I'm to be honest, man, I'm living in fear, but I'm gonna keep going, you know? So, hopefully, again, those people who been rejected, who's gonna like you're gonna keep being rejected. You're gonna get a lot more no's than you're gonna get yes. But hopefully you use that as motivation and fuel to do better and to progress because it's a teachable moment. Don't let your bad pride and ego ruin your whole life. Make better judgments. Okay. Y'all, stay blessed ones, man. Stay blessed ones. I'm out.